Geshem Nado, no Kmisak, Namashonasak. Miigwech Gigado Madsuin Kamish Young. Miigwech Kinigig O Mampi a King. Miigwech Mamwe Ia Young Mampi. Giboksin Magom Jinad Moyang. We gab Witwishinong Minawan Nad Moshinong. Shke Ezwin Chayamong. We Nagado Wang. Miigwech Kinishinabe Madsuin. Miigwech Geshem Nado, no Kmisak. Namashonasak. Miigwech, 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 Misue. Great Spirit, grandmothers and grandfathers, we say thank you to giving us life. Thank you for all things here on earth. Thank you that we are here together. We ask with humility for your help. Stand by our side and help us. We have the ability to follow the ways of our ancestors. Thank you, Great Spirit, grandmothers and grandfathers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're talking about Manoomin and what an important and beautiful story that it has and how it relates to us as indigenous people. This indigenous plant is also part of us. And so this tribe has been underway for many years for wild rice restoration. First, so it can become part of our ecosystem, and then later maybe there might be a little bit left for us to consume as well. So our tribe's been in a long journey of wild rice restoration because it is part of our creation story. Without understanding about the food that grows on the water, as the story was told, our people wouldn't have migrated from the east to the west and landed where we now reside today, which is the land of the crooked trees, is the name of the place where I come from. So Waganoksing is what that means. So wild rice was once a major part of our ecosystem here, and then as the more settlers came into the area, and later on, you know, as time goes on, resorters come in the area and not understanding the value of that indigenous plant, and rather seeing the value of naked shoreline next to their home or their land was more viewed as desirable than a lake full of rice. So eventually it just got pushed back until it almost was no longer part of our cultural community, except symbolically only. It wasn't part of my regular diet anymore because it's not readily available. And so as we were working to bring back wild rice primarily for the wildlife, birds, migrating birds and such, we started to, as a tribe and as a community, re-embrace those traditions around rice. And so it was right here on the reservation in tribal housing that we had gathered rice and dried it and parched it and winnowed it and danced it all the old way and sorted it as a community. I used to have a longhouse out here, and people would come for 2 weeks. That went on, and everyone cleaned and washed and worked the rice. And a lot of people, what rice that they cleaned, the final cleaning when you get all the husks out, what the winnowing didn't get, then they got to take some of that home. But we kept some aside. A small portion of it was kept aside, and we cooked it symbolically in the way that you cook for spirit feasts. And we got on the tribal council's agenda that year, and we went and fed tribal council that rice and showed them a small video of what had happened over that 2 weeks, which was really years leading up to that event, many years. And tribal council, our leadership and lawmakers were asking, well, what do you want? You know, you showed us this video, you came in and fed us, you want money, what do you want? I said, no, we want the rice to be part of you because you're decision makers for our community. It's really important to understand how clearly Little Traverse Bay Band has established a relationship with the earth. Symbolically, after our reaffirmation with the government, the first thing that we did was create the Natural Resources Department, and then thereafter our lawmakers, our lawkeepers, and our police force, which means that we want to retain our relationship with the environment, and we need to police ourselves doing it. So the rice has been continuing to be seeded on the lakes, and it's taking hold slowly, and songs are sung and prayers are said. And even though we can't always be in direct proximity of where the reseeding is going, the inland staff usually let me know, and I sing a song, or I have ceremony here if I'm not able to go out there and sing. And it's just a song of appreciation for the water and for all the gifts that it gives us, because water is so incredibly important to us, and food that grows on the water is the rice. And how beautiful that now in 2021, if we were able to gather and have our feasts, as I miss so desperately so much, wild rice is always a part of that. Now, not just for the spirits to consume, but for us as well. Wild rice has now become a part of my regular diet, and I can say only 10 years ago it was not. And I'm very, very proud of the work that our tribe has been able to put together so that future generations can understand our relationship with that rice, and how we came to be Waganuksing Oldawak, how we came to be people of the crooked tree that live here. It was all through that wild rice. Isn't that a beautiful story? I think many people don't understand how integral a part that a plant can have on a people. You know, it's, I guess you could relay it to how people feel about the United States symbols of the eagle holding the arrows and things like that. All of those symbols, that's how I feel when I come to a feast and I see our sacred foods being offered there, such as the wild rice and our squashes and our corn and our wild meats. Those things are very important to our, and of course berries. And wild rice is a very important part of that. It's not a feast without wild rice. We're woodland people. You know, we're Anishinaabeg people. And that's one thing that I know that we share throughout the woodland area. We all have reverence for the rice, and the right for the rice to grow there, and the right for the rice to have clean water, and the right for the rice to give itself to the other wildlife so it can fulfill its purpose, why it was given to the earth. It's all very beautiful. It's all very poetic. It's even more beautiful when spoken in language, and all of those beautiful descriptive words that embrace that. There's not always English words to convey it. It's just almost, you know, it's so spiritual. It's just like this feeling that comes with it. It's really wonderful. Yeah, I guess that's the important thing that people need to come away with, is understand that the decisions that they make have impact on other communities that they may not have even known were there. So that's where that 7-generation rule comes in. I like to talk about 7 generations in the manner of speaking 3 generations in front of me. In other words, my ancestors that have already passed away, my elders, and the generation that I'm in, and 3 generations behind me, including children that haven't even been conceived yet. And so that means when you count all 7 generations, that means that my decisions, I know, will impact the graves of my ancestors and the children yet to be born. And if we all make decisions like that, then we're sure not to disturb another culture.